Okay, so today is all about leaders finding the pause. And yesterday was actually a pretty cosmic day. Do y'all know what yesterday was? Yesterday was 2/22/22, right? So it's 2/2/22/22/22, right? There were a bunch of twos in yesterday, and it really, for those of you who know about these kind of things, right? When something cosmic like this happens, what does it mean? What does it mean to be 2/22/2022? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about finding the pause, and we're going to talk about, some really key things that I think are going to help all of you service providers, including myself, all of us service providers, take good care of ourselves, fill our cups so that we can perform our service with excellence. With excellence, fulfillment, joy, and ease. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about that. So let's get going. And so what is the 2/2/2/2/2/2/2/2? What does all that mean? And really it's, it's considered a powerful activation portal, right? So it's this idea that we are releasing all of these old things, right? There's something about 2/22/22 that signifies it as this portal that we are literally walking into. And it's so wild because I've seen so many things happen on 2/22/22 that were exactly that. They were shedding and releasing all of these things that have been really holding us back and allowing us to to step into this new phenomenon, this new part of living, right? And so where we really just are transforming our wounds into wisdom, where we're transforming our heartaches into something positive for other people, right? And so it's 2/2/22, the whole two number, to that extent for yesterday, February 22nd, 2022 is instrumental. And I actually had a client call today where that is exactly what happened to her. Right? So she walked into the office and realized that her director is no longer going to be her director. And that was the beginning of this new paradigm shift in her that, maybe I could be the director, right? This shift that happens with her. And so I ask you, what are you leaning into as a leader? As a leader in your own life? As a leader to other people, what are you leaning into? Are you leaning into that negative self-talk? Are you leaning into the fears that have held you down in the past? Are you saying, I'm not good at this, I'm lazy, I'm this, I'm that? Or are you walking in to something invigorating, something new, something exciting? Are you shifting your paradigms and saying to yourself that you are capable, that you are successful, right? And so that alignment with your divine, that alignment with that dharma, right? Who you're supposed to show up in this world as, what you're supposed to deliver to this world, who you are, what gifts you bring, the reason why the universe, God, whatever you believed in, put you here on earth, your dharma, right? What is it that you're supposed to deliver to this world while you're here? Because your life is more than just sitting at work. Your life is more than just sitting in front of a computer. You're here for a purpose. And uncovering that purpose is key. And the only way we can do that is by finding our pauses, right? By getting super quiet. I had to experience the other day to get very, very quiet with myself to make some decisions in my own life. Because we try to make these decisions as service-based providers, as analysts, as supervisors, as leaders. We try to make these decisions so quickly. And the number one thing that leaders can do is find their pause. They can find silence. You will be amazed with what happens to you when you create silence, right? And you create the opportunity to think like a leader. Because a leader isn't hopping from call to call to call to call. A leader isn't putting out fires after fire after fire, even though you might be a leader and you might be feeling that right now. A leader is creating a pause between you and the thing, right? Sitting back and thinking about key elements. We're thinking about key big picture elements. We're thinking about systems, performance, high quality performance environments for our people, right? We're thinking about who we want to be as a leader, right? And so leaders have a very important responsibility, and it's called finding your pause, right? Stepping into your own life, recognizing that you were put here on this earth today for something very specific. So the significance of 2/22/22 is this portal kind of opening us up into a new concept of who we decide to be. And we get to decide that very thing. We get to decide what we want to lean into. We get to decide what stories we tell ourselves. If we tell ourselves, oh, I've always been overweight, I'll never, be able to run a marathon. Or if we say, I'm not smart enough to be the director, or I'm not smart enough to be the analyst, or whatever it might be for you. If we tell ourselves those stories over and over again, then that's exactly what the universe is going to deliver to us. But the 2/22/22 represents this time to really lean in. It's the portal. Think about what happened yesterday for you. What happened to really open you up to new possibilities, to new ideas, to new energies that you're going to fulfill and feel fulfilled in the delivery of your gifts, right? So that's the first thing. Another thing that has been becoming very clear to me over the last couple of days for myself, from my own experiences, is how supported we are when we make these decisions in our lives, right? How supported we are when we decide to be a certain thing. Now, I gotta be honest with you, there's been times where I've made decisions and my family is like, Dawn, you're nuts. Or my friends are like, what are you doing? But I feel it in my core, in my divine, like this connection to myself, that this is what I need to do. This is where I need to be. And it's so strong. And so I open that up. I don't hide that. I open that up and I find the supports that are going to be there for me to elevate me. But it starts with me. It doesn't start with me reaching out or somebody else telling me something. It starts with me deciding what that's going to be. And so the universe fully supports us when we create this pause and when we create this thinking in our lives. And when we take advantage of these portals that are opening wide up for us. And I'll tell you a story about myself and really what opened up for me, right? So I was really struggling with figuring out what I wanted to do next. I was in potential receipt of a contract, and I wasn't sure if I wanted it because it would mean that certain things in my life would shift, right? It would mean that I would have to, leave my daughter for 10 days. It would mean that I would have to really kind of work maybe a little bit during some times where I had taken some time off. It meant that I had to shift a little bit. It meant that I had to walk into something scary that I've never walked into before, do something in another country that I've never done before. And so I had all this going on inside of me saying, I don't know if I can learn enough about that country before I go there. I don't know, anything about the language and the people. And I had all these things, reasons and stories that I was telling myself that I couldn't do it, right? But then I got super quiet multiple times. This involved a multiple times being quiet. But I got super quiet. And when you get super quiet, a couple of things can happen. The first thing that can happen is you can bawl your eyes out. That's what I did. And so when you are in a space of bawling your eyes out, right? That's the release. That's the release that needs to happen. Like, oh, I don't know what to do. And you're just so like, right? That's the release that might need to happen. But the decisions should not be made while you're releasing, right? Allow yourself to get quiet, find the pause and release, right? But the decisions really come when you are able to create calm. And so I had to get silent a couple of times. I had to find my pause a couple of times. And when I finally got settled in and the emotions were subsiding and I started to think about, what does it mean? What does this contract mean for me? What does it mean for my business? What does it mean for the community? You know, my whole goal in life, my gift in life is inspiring people to step up to a better life, to really exceed in building analytical capacity in a way that completely serves their and fulfills their personal life, right? So I knew the goal, right? I knew what I wanted to do, but I had all these fears and stories that I was telling myself. So I had to pause multiple times. And then when I got to really thinking about it, I'm like, that's my dharma. That's the thing. That's the thing that I'm supposed to be able to do. And now if I choose yes, then I will be able to expand globally to Western Asia, right? And so I was like, I will be able to serve in such a different capacity. I will be able to help lift people that may not have been lifted in the same way if I didn't give my gifts, right? And so I ultimately chose yes to the contract. I ultimately chose yes to the contract. But the reason why I share that story with you is because it wasn't like a yes or no for me. As a leader, I am regularly finding the opportunity to pause throughout my day so that I can think about these strategic things, so that I can tease out some of the emotions that are happening and recognize them and understand them and use them in some of my decision. But ultimately, I find my pause so that I can get deeply connected to my inner divine, to who I'm supposed to be, to what I'm supposed to deliver to this earth while I'm here. Okay? And so and in that, all of a sudden, that decision, I became supported. Multiple arms just kind of reached out and supported me, right? A very good family friend is going to watch my daughter. You know, there was a bunch of other positive things that happened that I can't even talk about them all, but there were all these arms that supported me. And I'm like, wow. You know, when you slow down, when you are intentional with the universe about what you want to deliver, when you take that pause as a leader and think clearly, then all of a sudden it gives you the opportunity to just look around and see how supported you actually are. I saw how supported I actually am. And I know that I'm on the right path, right? So, but this wasn't me 10, 11 years ago. 10, 11 years ago, I never would have shared a challenge with someone. I never would have wanted to receive. I only want to give. And now I'm in a space where I'm like, wow, the universe is just putting all this in front of me. I'm so lucky. And so I ask you, what really is your pause? You are supported too. You are so supported too. Right? I had another client the other day who reached out frantically and sent an email and said, oh my gosh, I don't understand. I'm so bad at Microsoft Access and I don't understand this. And I said, what if you rewrite your story? What if you stop telling me how bad at Microsoft Access you are? And what if you tell me, and tell yourself, I am a Microsoft Access guru, right? And she's like, I don't know if I can do that. Well, you can tell yourself the negative things. You can say, oh, I'm not equipped. I'm not good enough. I stink at this. I stink at that. You could tell, for me, I'm not knowledgeable enough in a certain global, economy understanding, right? So all these things we tell ourselves, or we can say, you know what? I'm leading my life. I'm showing up as my best self. I'm identifying gaps and I'm filling those gaps. Right? And so it's so interesting to me when you shift that mindset just a little bit, all of the support that you have, right? All of the support that you have. And so, okay, so how do we find our pause? How do we make this happen? What do we do? And there's a couple of different things that I want to share with you. One, the mornings when it's quiet might be a beautiful time to find your pause, but it's not just in the morning. I want you to think about finding your pause, right? Finding your pause all day long, multiple increments throughout the day, finding multiple ways to support yourself throughout the day. And here's what it can look like. So you can start off in the morning. Maybe you have a morning meditation. Maybe you have some quiets, right? Yes, Michelle, there's always that statement before success. Yes, exactly. She also says everyone at the beginning, yeah, Microsoft Access is tricky, right? But Michelle was one of those and now she's a genius, right? And our other client, I know she's very, very much better than she thinks she is, but when she gets hung up, the paradigms go back to what they were before and she struggles, right? And so we practice shifting these paradigms. And that's what I want us to do this week. practice shifting our beliefs in ourselves, our stories that we're telling ourselves. So, it can look like this. You can have some quiet time in the morning. For me, it's the lights are off. I have some music going, maybe a soft light in the background, and I'm listening to some music, some meditation, maybe some Joe Dispenza, or maybe just music, or maybe complete silence. And I'm sitting there with my hot cup of tea or coffee, black, I like black, organic, right? And I'm just sitting and I'm like, what's coming to me in this moment? What's coming to me? And I just listen and get really in tune with what my body, what my intuition, what my heart is telling me. All right. So that's one way. The other way is throughout the day is you can kind of build in a couple of things. Like you can build into your phone a reminder to like take a pause. You've been sitting for 5 hours. Get up, let's go. Right. And so that's a really good way. I had another client this morning. Gosh, I was seeing a lot of clients this morning. So I had another client this morning and she's wonderful. And, I know that what makes her find joy and fulfillment, like she's a really hard worker, right? But what makes her find joy and fulfillment is music, is dance, is our colors, our creativity and motion. And so we were talking about today in her coaching call, how to really build in that incrementally throughout the day. So it doesn't have to be an event that she goes to, that it really is something incremental, right? Incremental. Oh goodness. Yeah. Caroline, I'm so glad this is helping you today. Yeah. And so, thinking about, for this client that I was talking to, I know that really just makes her feel good when she's in movement, when she's, it has color around her. And she's like, but Dawn, I don't get any time away from my desk. And I know what you preach and I know what you say, get away from your desk, but I just, maybe 15 minutes, maybe I can do it for 15 minutes. I said, all right, let's start there. So we took those 15 minutes and I said to her, instead of just running down, getting your lunch and coming back, why don't you, if she loves movement, right? Why don't you move as you're walking down the hallway in a way that a dancer would move, right? Why don't you sway your hips a little bit or think of your favorite song in your mind, right? Finding that mental pause from all the chaos of her day, right? And she was thrilled, right? Thrilled with like, oh, I don't have to rush to go get my food from downstairs. I can actually pause and just sway and enjoy. And she's pretty careful. She works for a professional business, so she doesn't want to necessarily look like she's swaying. So she'll be careful about it. But it's the mindset shift that's happening. It's the mindset shift, right? And so she also talked about this colors. Colors bring her joy, right? And so one of the things that she's doing to bring herself joy is buying a bunch of different colored like markers and pens and stickies to have all around her so that it's not the black and white, the gray and the charcoal that she doesn't really, that doesn't inspire her. So just bringing some color into her day, bringing some sway into her day. And so finding your pause does not have to be this 2-hour thing. Finding your pause as a leader means that you are understanding and shifting your mindset to know that finding those pauses incrementally throughout the day are going to help you show up as your best self. And when you show up as your best self, you are delivering excellence to all of the people around you. Right? To all of the people around you. And so that is one way, right? So that's another way. Another way, if you're just popping on here, we're talking about finding your pause as a leader and the value that brings to your overall joy in life and the delivery of your best self to the people around you. So I wrote this one down because I wanted to make sure that you all heard that this was something that came through. Silliness. Silliness is a great way to find your pause, right? Just silliness, like recognizing that, that laughter just simply makes life better, right? Laughter simply makes life more pleasurable, more easy, more ease. If you have to think of a joke, if you have to put a funny picture next to you, like laugh, like go ahead right now, look at my smile, let it be contagious for you. Just smile, just turn the corners. These are the corners of your mouth. Go ahead and turn them up to the sun, right? Turn the corners of your mouth up and feel the change that makes in you right now. Feel the change that makes in you. That could be finding your pause, right? That could be, putting a picture of a funny dog or a funny cat or a funny kid or whatever tickles you, right? Maybe down the hall. And every time you pass by it, you're like, and you just laugh to yourself and you're silly, right? And you're silly. The magic of imagination, the magic of color, of movement, of silliness, right? All of this helps leaders find their pause. When you are so focused and when you are so in 100% of the time, even 90% of the time, your people are going to feel like they're not going to relate to you, right? They're going to interrupt you. They're going to bother you. Right? When you show up as your best self, when you create pause in your life, you think better, you think more clearly, and you're able to really support your people in a much better way. And even if you're not leading a team right now, I'm talking about your family. I'm talking about your friends, the people around you that you lead, right? You're able to live a life that you want to live. You don't have to live a life of working all the time. Now, you all know that I'm a super hard, smart worker, right? So I definitely promote quality, excellent work, especially service-based professionals, right? So for those law enforcement, fire, EMS, show up ready to succeed. Show up as your best self. And all I'm doing today is helping you determine one tool to help you show up as your best self. And that is finding your pause on a regular basis in these habits, right? And so talking about habits, we have a very new tool for you. You probably have been seeing some of the blogs that we've been putting out and some of the social media, and maybe you've received emails from us as well as some of the tools that we're putting out there. But we have Master a Holistic Daily Routine. Master a Holistic Daily Routine. It's a free download with some videos to really help you. It comes with a beautiful guide, and it talks about these and other healthy routines, like finding your pause daily, like being silly, right? Some of the ones I shared with you that are not in there, we have some other ones in there for you. And it's 100% free. It's my gift to service-based professionals, right? And so, a lot of people say, oh, if I want to live a healthier lifestyle, I have to eat organic and, exercise and be healthy. I mean, that's only a small portion of it. It really, truly is. The other portion of it is showing up as your best self by creating habits, right? By creating habits. Showing up as your best self by creating habits. So when you have these holistic routines in your life, like your meditation in the morning, or maybe you're finding your pause. I have a little note on my phone at 1:20. It always goes off and it says, are you doing exactly what fulfills you, or something like that right now, right? And I'm just like, oh. I have another one that goes off in the afternoon because I've been frowning. My eyebrows have been kind of like, when I'm looking. When you look at the computer and all of a sudden you're like, oh, was I doing that the whole time? And I've been doing that. So I have another notice to myself that's just like, knock it off. And doing some face yoga, right? Some face yoga to kind of get myself trained to not go like this so much, right? So the Mastering a Holistic Health Routine is a free download for all of you. I'm going to give you a little bit of what's in it right now so that you know. Thank you for sharing that link. I appreciate that. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that I'm going to give you right now that you can do to begin to build routine into your body, right? So the Mastering a Holistic Health Daily Routine booklet is multiple parts, right? And so it talks about your body, your mind, your spirit, and so forth. And so today I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can do for your body, and one of them is finding your flippin' pause. Just do it. Set your alarm, giggle, walk down the hall and sway if your pause is movement, right? If your pause is embodiment. And so one of the things that you can do to really help yourself, maybe like a healthy daily routine, is eat real food. Eat real food. Stop eating things out of a bag. Eat real food. You will be astonished at how your hormones get balanced, at how you actually enjoy the taste of food again. And we have, I have certainly other tools that if that's a focus area of yours, I have some other tools that can definitely help you. And of course, our health coaches can help you as well, work through your specific goals. But eating real food is the number one thing. Like, eat real food. That's going to help with Alzheimer's, that's going to help with muscle fatigue, that's going to help with brain development, that's going to just help with everything. Immune system, digestive support, respiratory support. Eating real food supports you in so many ways. So that's one thing that you can do every single day to help support yourself, right? Practicing yoga. I mean, yoga is incredibly restorative. So there's this yoga move where you kind of get on your hands and knees and your knee rotates around, right? So it's a hip opener. And I will tell you that one move has been my absolute savior. I have a big back issue. I broke my back several years ago, and I have spondylolisthesis and all kinds of like funky stuff happening in my back. And that one hip opener, every time I do it, my lower back, my L7 or whatever's down there, 4, I don't know, whatever's at the bottom, feels so much better when I do. And I make sure that I do it several times a week, right? So you can have a yoga routine that's just a couple minutes long and just do it every day or every couple of days, right? Let's see. Justin says, my mom has been on me lately regarding frown lines. Yes, exactly, Justin. So maybe that's what you do. Maybe that's what you do is kind of look up and set some reminders for yourself to really, create that calmness in your face, right? So the yoga practice, eating real food, natural skincare and hair products, right? So here's the deal, guys. You put crap on your body, it's going to go into your bloodstream. It's going to pass your blood-brain barrier. I mean, you're going to have all kinds of stuff going on, right? You're going to disrupt, a lot of perfumes and lotions and things of that nature really disrupt your hormones, and you end up having issues as a result. You end up having skin issues, digestive issues, all kinds of issues, right? And so I always encourage folks to use clean products. Use clean cleaning products, use clean makeup, meaning clean, meaning no toxins in it. Now, it's going to cost you a little bit more upfront, right? But you use less and you'll have less doctor visits in the long run, right? And there's so much science and research behind clean products. And I actually have on excellenceandanalytics.com, we have a tab called recommendations. And if you click on that tab and you're looking to really get started with a cleaner lifestyle, there's a 24% off coupon link to several products of partner companies that I love for toxin-free lotions and products and CBD oil and all kinds of fun stuff, right? So natural skin and hair products, real food, yoga, supplements. If you are deficit in certain things, it could be helpful to take some supplements. Now, again, here's the thing. You got to be careful about what you put in your body. You cannot just go to Walgreens or CVS or Rite Aid or whatever and grab some vitamins and put those in your body, right? The reality is a lot of supplements, they're not regulated, and a lot of supplements have other things in them and vitamins that are not what they say, right? And so they have a lot of other things in them that really can do the opposite effect of what you want them to do. So when you buy supplements, and there's specific ones that could be helpful for magnesium, for instance, if you have some stress. There's some cortisol blockers if you are experiencing stress. There's ashwagandha, that's like an equalizer of, it's called an adaptogen, so it kind of helps adaptogenise, I guess, your stress, right? Omegas, omega-3s, they're really good for your blood, and well, they're good for so many things, right? So anyway, when you take vitamins, don't use vitamins and supplements as a replacement for your food. Eat real food, and then, walk through with me as a health coach. I can help you figure out what you're deficit in, if you have specific things that you're dealing with, and I can also help recommend, again, a quality company that's going to deliver it right to your doorstep, so you're not going through Amazon and having all the heat or cold or whatever mess with the actual supplement itself, right? So on that website, excellenceandanalytics.com, under recommendations, there's a company, a tag there called Wellevate, and that's where I get my supplements because I want them to come directly from the manufacturer. And I also want them to be super clean, right? So if you go there, I think it's like 5 or 10% off the link that I have available for you there. And I can also help you find something specific to you. We'll do a health history together. So we'll do a health history to kind of figure out what it is that you actually need. So supplements are something that you can do on a daily basis. And if you don't do them on a daily basis, they're not going to give you exactly the support that you're looking for. So we're talking about today daily habits that can support your body, finding your pause, right? Eating real food, and doing some kind of yoga practice, getting the chemicals out. So transitioning to natural products. And I have a ton of links for you for those 24% off, those 5% off. All those links are under that recommendation tab. And of course I can work with you to help you figure that out too. So another thing is, in the last number 5 is tea. There's so much research around tea and herbs. Holy basil is one of my favorite teas to really help with stress reduction and cortisol management. And in the law enforcement, fire, EMS, these kind of industries, we're high. Our cortisol levels are up and down and up and down. And we really need to be able to be responding and not reacting. And so you want to prepare your body to respond and not to react as a leader, right? And so there's lots of different teas that can help support that for you, that can infuse you with antioxidants, with a ton of great supports for your body, energy, you can sleep better, and all kinds of good things. So yeah, so maybe I know before I used to drink a pot of coffee, and now I drink a cup of black coffee, and I really get focused in on the teas and making sure that tea is in my body supporting me. Megan just made her afternoon cup of green tea. Oh, wonderful. Green tea is amazing. Regular green tea is amazing. And then I actually have a ceremonial matcha green tea that's phenomenal. It has like 20,000 bazillion antioxidants, like way more than blueberries and goji berries and all the berries in the world, right? It's super amazing. So, yes. And so, Justin saying you feel like you need some sort of it won't let me see the rest of your comment, Justin. You might have to run that in, just write that in a little bit more. I can't go to the see more comment. So yeah, some of the supplements that might really help you, some of the reducing the toxins that are that really are messing around with your body, right? So your body is special and important. And, with all the illness that's been going around, the flu, everything that's been going around, we definitely want to support our bodies, our immune systems, and really have strong bodies, right? And so the yoga for me helps me create that strong body. I mean, I'm 44 years old and I'm going to get upside down on that paddleboard. It's happening, right? And so, and I'm in one of the strongest positions body-wise that I've been in a very, very long time. And it's these habits that help that happen. I used to think that HIIT training and I'd run 7 miles a day, and I used to think, well, that's not true. I ran 7 miles once in my life, but I would run multiple times a week, right? And do all kinds of really hardcore exercise. And what I realized as I got a little bit older is that had a negative impact on my body and on my stress levels. And I actually needed, shorter spans of the HIIT training. So I still needed cardio, but I didn't need it in the same way. I needed it in a way that was supportive of, strengthening my muscles and supporting other parts of my body. Yes, absolutely, Justin. Justin says he'd love to sit down with me for nutritional guidance. Yes. So our health coaching does all of that. So what that means is, when you're in an RG, and Justin's in RG, so he gets this service. When you're in RG, any of our programs for that matter, and for folks who are not in RG, there's also our health coaching program that's specifically only health coaching, doing assessments of you, doing your body assessment, your mind assessment, your spirit assessment, your career assessment, your work-life harmony assessment, right? Focusing in on the nutritional components and really helping to design a plan for you to reach those health goals that you're having, right? And so we can definitely do that. Justin and anyone else here who needs assistance with that, you can just reach out to me through email, don@excellenceinanalytics.com. I gotta shorten that. That's like so long, and someone always skips an I or an E or an L or something. I don't even know, right? They forget the C after the X. So make sure you spell it right, or you can reach out to Caroline, or you can reach out to myself on Facebook, LinkedIn, and I'm happy to help you as well. So today is all about finding the pause, recognizing the power of yesterday's 2/22/22, right? Yesterday was February 22nd, 2022. It is the portal. It is the path. Something happened to you yesterday. Think about it. Something happened to you the same way something happened to me and to those clients that I shared with you, where shifting is happening. Shifting is changing for you if you see it, if you find the pause to see it. And even if you're looking at this video months from now and it's no longer 2/22/22, you can still decide what you want your life to look like. You can decide if you want it to be in a box all day. You can decide if you want to have joy and fulfillment. You can decide if you want to fill the gaps and reach your next level. This life is the only life right now that you have. So use it. Find the flow. All you stiff ones out there. I was totally a stiff one. Totally, right? Find the flow. Find the embodiment. Yes, Michelle, 7. Even though it was once, it still counts. I can't even believe I did 7 miles. Oh, God bless all you runners out there. And so, the embodiment, the movement, the color, that can be your pause. It doesn't have to be big. It can be something that you look at, a picture of a funny dog on the wall. That can be your pause. Leaders find pause. And so take what happened yesterday, 2/22/22. Wipe out the noise of what's going on right now with Russia, right? Wipe out the noise. Wipe out anything that's happening at work. Wipe out the noise and get really quiet and decide. What do I want to be? Who do I want to be today? Decide. Take the time to decide who you want to be, who you want to deliver, how you want to live this life, and then go out and do it. Yes. Hey, Shannon. So good to see you here. Yeah. Shannon is so good at showing up as her best self. She's one of our RG leadership graduates. Congratulations. Actually, it hasn't happened quite yet. At the end of this month, she'll be officially graduating. And, really stepping into her own power, embracing who she is, filling any gaps that she might have, and finding adventure in her life, joy in her life. She's one of the greatest success stories. I can't wait till y'all meet Shannon. All right. So on that note, find your pause. Find what that is. Find if it's for Justin lowering his brows, right? Relaxing his brows a little bit. Find what body for that client that I was telling you about. If it's that movement down the hall that's a little bit, shakier, or find if it's using different colors that really ignite you. Choose your environment to inspire you. Choose your body to be well. Choose to put real food and real products in and on your body. Choose to optimize yourself. And if you're wondering how and you don't know how to get started, reach out to me right now. We'll set something up. And, and thank you for listening to my story, my little challenge. And if you missed it, go back. My little challenge of deciding what I can do and how now I feel so aligned with that divine, with my inner dharma, my inner divine, my dharma, right? What I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to be, who I'm supposed to show up as. So thank you all for being here today.